Let me know when you're recording. You're good? Okay. So today we're going to learn how to use SQLite to query structured databases, how to use MongoDB to query databases that are more flexible, less tabular and more document driven, and then Neo4j towards the end if we have time to look at how graph-based databases work and what their advantages are. So just some point of view, you're the sole programmer on call for the first flight of the SS Tweety, a fully autonomous, faster-than-light mega spaceship. That's you. Suddenly, your Motorola CP1250 alphanumeric flex long-range pager flashes. All software on board the SS Tweety, that should say Tweety, has been deleted. If the Tweety continues on its current heading, it will crash into the sun, creating a permanent night. A quick briefing on the systems. The Tweety has 3 central databases that you'll need to write code to fix. The navigational database is stored in SQLite. We have system data in a MongoDB database, and crew management in a Neo4j database. To get started, go to tweetydb.com. That'll give you access to the ship systems. And then enter your Zoom name and password Galactic Frog. That's capital G, capital F with a space in between. I guess just let me know when you're there.
Looks like everyone's open.
Okay, cool. So you should see something like that with some problems. We'll get to that later though, so you can just put that to the side and come back to the stream. First, we're gonna learn how SQLite actually works, why we use it, what it's good for. So first of all, why SQL? It's probably a term you've heard a lot, and there are a lot of different SQL databases, SQLite, DB2, Postgres. Its advantages, it's been around for a while. So if you need to learn how to do something, look it up. There's gonna be so much documenting all of the systems. And it reads like English. So once we get to Neo4j, that does not read like English. It's gibberish. But SQL starting out, yeah, it's just like reading English. Why SQLite in particular? It's simple. It has like the very minimum feature set for SQL, self-contained. So all of the code for SQLite is actually one SQLite.c file. So you can use it like on an iPhone or Android phone, really wherever you want to use it. And it's serverless. So everything, or anytime you query it, it's querying on your application. It's not sending a call to another server. It's just reading and writing to a file. So it removes some complexity. If you only take one thing away from this part, just learn how to select rows and columns from a table. Don't worry about filtering, grouping, sorting, even though we'll cover it. Just focus on selecting rows and columns from one particular table. So our data in SQL is going to look something like this. We'll have a bunch of different columns. Here we have name, email, and balance. We have a table name, mascot accounts. So this is all of the vhHacks mascots and how much money they have in their bank accounts. And we'll be able to query this table. So first you have to say which columns we want. So we'll select columns. This time we'll get name and balance. We don't care about the email. Maybe we're sending out bills, not marketing emails. We have to tell SQLite what table we want. So we'll say from mascot accounts. And then we use a where condition to filter the rows. So maybe we only want accounts where they have a positive balance. And we'll get to the actual code to do this in a bit. Yeah, so here's the actual code. We'll select name, comma, balance. So we're getting these 2 columns from this table, the mascot accounts table, because we could have like 3 or 4 different tables in SQLite. We want to make sure that mascot accounts is what we're getting and not like organizer accounts. And then we'll filter it using where. So only the columns where their balance is greater than 0. And one of the organizers let me know if there's any questions in chat. Feel free to pop in at any time. I've got some Tweety stickers actually that I'll give out for anyone that asks a question. Does this make sense? Post in chat, I guess. Okay, sounds like we're good. So this will result in the SQL, I guess, result set with the name and balance column, because that's what we filtered up here, and just the 3 rows that had balance greater than 0. You could also have less than 0, equals 0, does not equal 0, anything you want right here. And you can also have multiple conditions with and or, just like any other programming language. So again, we're going to select name and balance, just these 2 columns. From our mascot accounts table, we're not going to charge the organizers or build the organizers. And we're saying where the balance is positive, just like last time, or the name is echo. So we're getting everyone where either one of those conditions is true or both is true. And that results in these rows being returned with these 2 columns. Any comments in chat yet?
Seems like we're good so far.
Awesome.
Apart from Boots being sad.
Okay, sounds good. We're actually going a lot faster than I expected, so awesome.
If anyone wants
If I'm
to
going too fast, please let me know.
yeah, yell in chat or unmute and yell.
Yeah, especially if you want a Tweety sticker. Yeah, so just to review so far, basic SQL statements always look like select some list of columns from some table. And then we can add a where to filter based on the rows. Inside of the where clause, we can have different comparison, less than, greater than, equals, not equals, plus some other fancy ones we won't get to today, but feel free to text me if you want to learn more. And then logic, so and, or, and not. Once we get the results that we want, we might want to sort them. Maybe we want to sort by who has the biggest balance, who has the most money. Because by default, when SQL returns a list of rows, it's not going to be sorted in any particular order. There's no standard that says it's going to be sorted by the first column. It could be completely random. So just like last time, we'll select the name and balance columns from the mascot accounts table. And that'll give you just the normal. This could be in any order you want because we don't have order by. When we add order by name, it's going to look at these names, rearrange everything, and return the same results, but this time it's in alphabetical order based on name. I don't have an example here, but if we wanted to sort it so that echo is at the top, it was reversed. After name, we could put DESC for descending. And then we could, optionally, if like there's a tie and 2 people have the same name, we could add a second field sort by doing comma and then balance, for example. And that would sort by 2 fields at once.
And Susan has a question.
Yeah.
So she says, can you have a specific order? I'm not really sure what she meant. Order by specific order of what exactly? If you could clarify.
So like here's a specific order where it's in alphabetical order by name. We could order by balance, and then it would like go from the lowest balance up to the highest balance. I guess if you wanted like one particular permutation that wasn't really sorted by any column in particular, you could create an extra column over to the side, like how we want to order it. I don't know why you'd want that, but yeah. Does that answer the question? Did you get clarification?
Interesting. She says for chaos purposes. Does she get a sticker now?
Yes. Sophie, write down the names. I'm not going to remember.
Sure.
Okay. And then we can also, like if we only wanted the top of the list, maybe we only wanted the maximum balance, or in this case, the maximum name. That doesn't make sense, but it's the first name in the alphabet. We can add limit 1. You can put any number here, so limit 1, 2, 3, depending on how many rows you want to have. Since we limited 1, we're only getting that first row back. Reviewing again, we have these 5 clauses we looked at so far. Select, from, where, order by, and limit. There's going to be 1 or 2 more that we're going to add, and then I'll show you a mnemonic to remember what order they go in later. To keep going, we can do statistics with aggregate functions. This is really, really useful if you're doing business and you want to do analytics. So we have sum, average, we can do counts. I think this product and just a bunch of aggregate functions. And what that's going to do is that we do sum balance, it'll go through the balance column and add up all of these values. So just like normal, we have select. This time, instead of columns, though, we'll say average balance, sum balance, and then count 1. You could put balance in here, but it's going to be the same if you put balance or email or name. The count's always going to be the same. So usually we just put 1. And then we'll say from mascot accounts because we need to make sure we know what table we're getting it from. In the results, we'll have the column names at the top, not really columns. They're the aggregate functions that we ran here, and it'll be the average of this entire column, the sum of that column, and the count, so how many rows we have. And you could combine them. So if we did sum balance divided by count, it'd be the same thing as doing average. So you get kind of fancy with that. Any questions in chat?
Not so far.
Okay, cool. And then if we add different groups, so like in this case, mascot accounts, instead of email, we now have hackathon column. So Bob is from vhHacks, Ari is from vhHacks, Frog is from Freetail, Duck is from HackTams. This Duck is actually named Quackhead. I forgot it when I was writing this. And then Bevo is from Freetail or UT. So if we wanted to get the balance for each hackathon, we wouldn't be able to just sum the balance because that would give you the balance for all of the hackathon's mascots. And we'll select the hackathon and the average balance from our table, and we'll say group by hackathon. And that's going to group everything vhHacks together, everything from Freetail together, and then HackTams is kind of on its own, but it's still a group. And then within each of these groups, I'll go into the average and average these numbers. And I'll average Freetail numbers, and I'll average the HackTams numbers. And we'll get this result back. So vhHacks has a pretty nice balance, Freetail is negative, and HackTams has no money. Does that make sense? Any questions? Great, awesome. So those are 6 clauses. We have select something from some table where a condition is true, grouping by some column, ordering by another column, and limit to how many rows that we want back. And it always has to be in this order. Otherwise, SQL is going to give you an error. So you can remember that with stinky feet won't grow old, longevity. Yeah, so I think that's all I had for the first part. But if you only take one thing away, it's how to select rows and columns from a table. So select name and balance for mascot accounts. Or if you're looking at a user database, you might select the username and the password from users. That's going to be the core of SQL. It's probably going to be enough for your hack this weekend. Any questions?
What does L stand for again?
Limit.
Limit, right.
And I believe there's also an offset. Like if you wanted the third top one, you could offset 3 and limit 1.
Why wouldn't you do limit 3, 1?
You can do that too.
Okay.
Oh, it kind of confuses me though. So SQLite might actually not support offset since it has very minimal feature set. It might just support that 3, 1. So it depends on what SQL database you're using. Yeah, don't worry about that. If you are using it for your hack, you can DM me on Discord.
Cool. I think everyone's excited to try out 2DDB now.
Yeah.
Although, wait, do we want to do any questions? I think we'll get a lot more questions once we get into the exercises. So.
Probably. Yeah. So you can open up tweedb.com again, your name on Zoom, and then password Galactic Frog, and then start fixing the SS Tweedy. Ask a mentor or just talk in here if you have any questions. Okay. There's not much left. So part 2 would be MongoDB, but y'all are the beta testers for this workshop, and that part's not done yet. But you can come to UT Austin's Learnathon next weekend to get the full experience. freetailhackers.com/learnathon. Registration's open. Someone can post that in chat. And next steps, you can try going through HackerRank's SQL problems. They have a ton. And eventually, once you've done a couple of questions there, you probably don't have to remember the stinky feet thing. It just becomes like another language. You don't have to think about the grammar in the sentences I'm speaking. You have to think about the grammar in the queries that you're writing. I just wrote query writing. It's good practice. Try using a database in your hack this weekend. If you want to figure out how to get it all set up with your stuff and you're having trouble, feel free to DM me on Discord and sign up for YouTube's Learnathon. Link should be there. Yeah, that's all. Reach out on Discord, connect on LinkedIn, email me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.